I could tell my bad date story now.
Tell your bad date story. Hit us with it.
All right, so this bad date story I remembered. This was when I was in college. So the easiest way to describe where I lived was the Daytona, Orlando area, that kind of central eastern Florida. And this was a woman I met online, and she was like, "Hey, I live at this part of Daytona, and whatever, whatever. Why don't we hang out and do stuff?" And this was like a 15-minute drive, and it was one of the first in a while. I was like, I don't have to drive 45 minutes to get to Orlando, or I don't have to do this or whatever. And I was like, so hey, I can just hang out and have fun, and I know exactly where she lives because we go to that area sometimes to hang out and stuff. So the she is. I remember thinking she was okay in terms of attraction, not amazing. Of course, I get there. She's like 20 pounds heavier than her photos, so we're off to a great start. But anyway, moving on to the story. So first of all, her friend is there. Of course, I was not told about this. I was not informed.
How many dates is this where your date brought her friend? That's like the fourth one you've told.
It happens more often than you think, and they usually give some bullshit excuse like, "Oh, I just want to feel safe with meeting someone online," or "Oh, I didn't think you would mind." And it's a huge red flag to me because it's like we're meeting in public.
Bring a friend.
Yeah, bring me next
Bring a big
time.
fucking bird.
Charlie, next time
No.
if they say they're bringing a friend, I will drive to your house and bring you.
I'm down. That'd
No,
be
but
fun.
Charlie is
Sure.
cute. That doesn't work.
That was so sweet.
Yeah, he'll steal the
Someone
women.
Fat and he's someone who's like fat and burly and hairy.
So Kaya, you want to come?
I'm not fat, you asshole.
That was a joke. I love you, Kaya. So anyway, no, it happens because like they just pull some bullshit because they think that they go, "Oh, meeting someone on the internet, and I just want to feel safe, and I want to get their opinion of you," and it's like, okay, we're meeting in a public place. I'm also meeting someone from the internet. You're just being shitty. Fuck you. So anyway, she brought her friend.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So she was like not that attractive, I'll admit, in her photos when she weighed less. But again, I was super turned off because, like I said, I hate getting catfish because I feel like I'm just being lied to, and that shit kills anything for me faster than anything. Her friend was taller than me, like 200 something pounds, and looked like a barbarian woman passed down through eons.
The Ronda Rousey.
She had I don't know, she had a stone face and like thin blonde hair and could probably kick my ass in a fight without even trying.
Leslie Jones.
I just keep
Yes.
guessing famous people. She
Let's
definitely
just-
brought a famous friend.
It sounds like you went and met a fucking orc queen.
It sounds like you
She
met a
was, no.
WNBA player.
She was orcish and massive and just overbearing and intimidating.
She
was
brought her
insane.
hired muscle.
Just her
She
dad
brought her
in drag.
enforcer. Yeah. She brought her uncle in a dress. But no, she was as tall as I am, and I'm a fairly tall person. She was like had this like thin blonde hair. I don't want to say she was mannish, but she was beefy. She was large.
She had an Adam's apple.
A bull
She said,
hanging
"Hey,
out.
I'm some." She introduced herself and "Hi, I'm Samantha."
So you
anyway.
Andrew, huh?
Come and give me a hug. And then she ruptured my spine. But anyway, so I got there, and so immediately this is
Can't stop
already
imagining Goro. Sorry.
Goro from Mortal Kombat shows up,
Yeah.
and I've got my Johnny Cage sunglasses on. She's Zangief from the Street Fighter movie. Okay, so eventually, so this is already super fucking awkward because just a lot of reasons. I didn't know her friend would be there. Her friend, it's a first impression. She could have been very nice, and I'm sure that before I met her, she was. And she was just, I'll admit, I was intimidated because it's like I didn't expect it. But anyway, I say hello. I'm already like counting this as a loss because I was once again catfished and just they didn't live in the greatest of places. So I'm already like, okay, this is gonna suck. So we're hanging out in this cul-de-sac, one of those like roundabout cul-de-sacs with a little palm tree island in the middle. I know you guys have never seen a palm tree, but basically it's just a cul-de-sac, but in the middle there's like a concrete loop filled with like shrubbery and trees and shit.
Is this going to be an important plot point? This
Yeah.
cul-de-sac and the palm tree. Is this something?
Actually,
we need to
Charlie, it
Staying
is
on it.
because 2 minutes into talking, what emerged from said island was a cat,
That'll do
and
it.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, it's a cat," and
There you go, Charlie.
yes,
Comes full circle.
But anyway,
Sabrina, the witch.
I knelt down to like play with the cat because I was like, "Hey, kitty," and the cat was super friendly. And the two girls were like, "Yeah, that's the neighborhood cat. He doesn't really have a name, but he's friendly to everyone." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." So I'm petting the cat, and I'm noticing as we're talking while I'm petting this cat, I'm having more fun just playing with the cat than I am talking with them. Because every conversation that comes out of their mouths, despite being my age, is high school gossip type stuff.
So what does
they're
this
talking-
date consist of? Just standing outside of their house in their neighborhood talking while you play with
Oh,
the
I'll
cat?
get to I'll get no, I'll get
Why
to
were
that. I'll
just
get to
standing in the
that.
cul-de-sac?
I'll get to that. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. So we're just talking and introducing ourselves, and I'm playing with the cat, and everything they're talking about is like people I've never heard of, and like rumors about shit I just don't care about nor ever want to get invested in. Every topic that they're like flittering back and forth between with each other, I'm just like, oh yeah, oh that's cool, yeah, oh, and like. I just distinctly remember, and it's what helped me remember the story. The entire night, had more fun playing with this cat than I did with any remote thing with them. So, after we get a bit of talking and whatever, they kind of, like, turn into their own, like, little whisper secret corner. Like, that whole, like, oh, we're going to talk to each other now and whatever. And they're trying to play it coyly, but it's very obvious they're, like, discussing that the girl I came to meet thinks I'm attractive. And what they want to do about that, but it's very just awkward and obvious, and I'm
Sounds
just
like a
standing there
fan
like,
fiction.
all right.
Yeah, it really does sound like a fan fiction.
They thought I was attractive.
I wish it were
Andrew's just
good.
reading the Snapchat message he got this morning.
No, I wish it were good. I wish it had a good ending. So anyway, it's super awkward, and they're like, it's obviously like this discussion is causing like, this like glacial rift between them. But whatever, we move on past it, and they start talking to me.
What do you
again.
mean a glacial rift? Like, did the
I'll-
other girl
I'll-
disagree?
No, ugly man.
Sort of.
Dad didn't
I'll
want
get to it.
What was the polarizing opinion here?
I'll get to
Did one
that.
of
It
them
comes
really
up.
hate you?
Trust me, it makes a bigger impact if
You
I
keep-
save what it
Keep
meant.
teasing so much.
Yeah,
Because the
it's
ending to this
really
story
amazing
is
ending.
great.
all
'Cause
this
the ending-
foreshadowing.
So eventually we go, let's do something, and I'm like, what do you guys typically do? Do you like, you know, we said we would hang out, and like we didn't really talk about it, and I didn't make concrete plans because I was like, they live like 15-20 minutes away, so it's not even a big deal. I could just leave. So they were like, oh well, we just hang out, and I'm like, great, you're a person who just says you hang out but never actually does anything. You're my favorite, awesome. So eventually they say, well, we could go on an urban safari. And I go, what? And they go, an urban safari. And I'm like, what's that? And they're like, we go to, like, ghetto areas or really, like seedy areas and just look around. And the sad part of that is, once we get into that, first of all, I'm the only one with a car. So obviously I'm driving us around these ghettos. Second of all, I realize that they mean the area's 5 minutes from walking distance of where they live. So, which is a really high class and high-strung profiling of their area. And so basically we drove around the ghetto, which consisted of just looking at shitty buildings. And I thought it was the absolute worst thing in the world. So I had shown up pretty late because they were up late, and I was like, whatever. So it was like 11 o'clock or something at this point. So I'm like, hey, look, I'm actually hungry. Can we maybe go to like IHOP or something? Because I don't know, just to do something. And it was just because like I was fucking bored out of my mind. So they go, yeah, there's actually an IHOP like right down the street. Let's go there. So I drive them to IHOP. We get in. We get a table. We sit at said table. And then they're sitting next to each other across from me. I'm sitting at the table. I'm playing on my phone and also texting my friends like, holy shit, this sucks. I'm bored. This is garbage. Charlie, I think this was before I met you. So, but anyway.
What was that side note about?
You didn't
That's
get the
why I
memo.
didn't text you. You got super uppity last time.
Oh, okay, fair. I forgot. It's
Yeah.
been like 3 weeks.
Yeah. So anyway, while this is happening, and like I'm ordering my food and looking at the menu and all that, they're exchanging these like side glances to another table in the restaurant filled with these like 4 kids. Like I think it was 2 guys and 2 girls that also look about our age. And they're like muttering stuff to each other. And I literally just like, I've had enough of like the child shit the childishness, so I just literally go, "What? What are you guys doing? What is happening?" And they're like, "Oh, that's." I don't remember the actual names they said, but they're like, "That's John and Stacy at that table. We don't like them very much." And I'm like, "Oh yeah," and they're like, "Yeah, they're so preppy. They're such preps. They're too preppy." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not up on the lingo.
Charlie, you're up in the lingo. What's preppy mean?
It means it's lit, fam.
5-year-old.
Yeah, it's the current version of their lit. So basically, what I found out
Sounds like a
is these
compliment.
two girls lived in their high school town, never went to college, and just still held on to these obsessive high school grudges that they held in classes, and just spent all day bullshitting about people they went to high school with. So they were like the social rejects, and they'd be like, "Oh, they're just preps. They're just jocks and fucking like popular kids, and they're so
He has a
shitty.
job.
Yeah, they're so like shallow and fake." And literally the whole time I'm at IHOP, I'm eating this like Philly cheesesteak that I ordered, just idly, barely saying anything, while they're just like flittering to each other, like, "Oh, I bet he like fucked her under the table. He's so fucking preppy. Fuck, so like it was like a seventh grader. It was like I was at the lunch table in high school. It was insane. And just the whole time, they're like glancing at them like, "Oh, I can't believe they're here. Oh, we're here. Oh, it's so awkward. I'm so..." And they say to me like 4 different times, "I'm sorry, this is so awkward. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "No, I don't know these fucking people. I feel great. What's wrong with you?" I was actually tempted to get up and walk over and be like, "Hey, how's it going?"
I'm with you guys now.
I remembered I had to drive them home, so I didn't want to do that. If I was just
have to drive them home.
Should have fucking left them.
Yeah.
I probably should have, but I try to be a nice guy. I mean, if I weren't nice about it, I would have left as soon as I realized I was catfished. But I mean, I tried. I don't know. I like to be nice. So we finish at IHOP and we're driving back, and there's a distinct like awkward silence in the car from me, because I put my music on and I'm like, "All right, well, let's get out of this as nicely as I can." And both of them are just like occasionally whispering, but like nothing is saying. So we get back to the cul-de-sac. I park. The cat comes back, so I'm already having a great time. So I'm playing with the cat, and eventually they start like having a tiff, and I'm not paying attention to them anymore. I'm just kind of bewildered. And the best friend storms off into their house, and the other girl kind of like walks away from me and like checks her phone and whatever, and then the best friend comes back. Now, what had happened was the insider trading conversation they were having was the girl I came to see from OkCupid, or dating site or whatever, was trying to fuck me. But her best friend was like, "Don't be slutty like that. What am I gonna do? If you fuck him, I don't know where to go or what to do. That's so slutty of you." So they were like having this whole argument because the girl's like, but I want to, but he's cute. Like, she was just trying to get some ass. She didn't
What
care who I
anime did you
was.
pull this story from, Andrew?
Yeah,
This seems
Charlie.
so unbelievable.
The girl was a slag monster. I'm not trying to boast about myself. If Jabba the Hutt asked to suck your dick, would you be proud of it?
Well, I also wouldn't go into like this detail. "Oh, Jabba, I just want to suck his dick so hard."
Charlie,
Looking
you
guy.
gotta
Brain
stop
rubbing
interrupting me, because there's a reason I brought this detail up.
All right, okay. Oh, you were right about the
Because-
palm
There's a
tree.
reason
Okay.
you brought Jabba the Hutt up.
The phrase that I specifically remember her saying, and it was them reaching a compromise, was... Eventually, I found out, after even more of them fighting, was she said, "Okay, look, I want to fuck you, but I shouldn't, and my friend's telling me not to because I have, like, sores in that area." And then she said, "But my mouth is available to everyone."
That's so sweet of her.
the-
So then they both fucked you, right, Andrew? And then you woke up.
No. I tried my best to get the gears in my head turning, because this was at the phrase where I didn't have that much dating experience, so I was kind of awkward myself and trying to like figure a way out of this that made sense rather than just going bye. So eventually what I was like is I was like, I have my out. It's the friend. So I went, "You should listen to your friend. You shouldn't do this. Maybe we could hang out a bit more and go from there, but, she might have a point. You might not want to do this right now. I don't know if I would feel comfortable with that. Fuck, I didn't want to. So eventually, she's like super upset because she's like, I want to, I know, but. And her friend is all like annoyed because she's like, oh, if she fucks him, what am I gonna do? And eventually, I'm like, hey, I played with a cat and I had fun. So eventually, I was like, hey, I gotta go. Here's a convenient excuse. I don't remember what I said. So I was like, yeah, take care of that cat for me. I love him. And then I left, and that was my date. Yeah,
Wow.
But I distinctly remember her saying the specific phrase, like, I'm not gonna fuck you, but I will say my mouth is available to everyone.
Do you have a number?
Yeah, those
No?
sores are probably healed by now.
Oh god.
I gotta break them in.
That was so weird and disgusting and suspect.
I don't think it happened.
It was 100% true. I'm not proud of it. I'm not trying to say it as a boasting story. It was incredibly awkward. I myself was super awkward in it, but it happened.
The
It
story
fucking
story
happened.
boiled down to this chick wanted to have sex with me and I rejected her.
Yeah, that was
No.
like a 20-minute story.
No, not even that. It boiled down to this chick wanted to really have sex with me, but her friend was too jealous to let her.
I mean, I thought there were more details like the IHOP that were
The island.
and the
God.
cat. I don't
Andrew,
know.
did you know